Hey everyone, this is an article I saw a few days ago. I've been wanting to bring this up for some discussion. It's an interesting one to say the least. It is obviously discussing the breach that happened. The investigation, the charges were dropped, or charges were laid 12 months ago. I believe the breach happened a few months prior to that, um, with regards to the COVID vaccine management system. So your appointment booking and everything. As you can see on the headline, 360,000 people had their personal information taken. Um, the information in here shows specifically that there were some specifics here that show 95% of them were just their names and phone number, and the additional 4% was the health card compromised as well. Um, I had conversations with people, and it's neither here nor there, but I mean, conversations I had with people during the time of the launch of this portal. I said that breaches would happen. I felt, the government was taking the advantage approach, throw shit on the wall to see what sticks. It was just doing too much, too quickly. I don't think they were dotting the I's and crossing the T's, because, again, as most people know, a big portion of cybersecurity is physical security. Um, and clearly, something was missed here, for this breach to take place. I can't say for certain. Obviously, there's no full audit here to how the breaches came about, but obviously, staff was involved. There was internal breach that had happened, and it says it shows that 22 people were convicted of this. And it just, my biggest concern is what comes of it. Phone numbers and names, I think it's a nuisance type situation, really. I think you just have a new list of people to, spoof numbers and have air duct cleaning services come and call you. Um, and, potentials for people sending, legitimate people sending you scam text messages. Hey, I'm in jam. Can you send me this? Can you send me that? And you might be more believable because it's from a name and number that you recognize. Um, be more weary, I would say. Use a little bit more, let your spidey sense tingle a little bit. And if you think something's not right, when a friend of yours is now, or somebody on your contact list you haven't spoken to in years, now asking you for Amazon gift cards, you might want to either ignore it or call them and say, hey, what's going on? I would like some input, though, from somebody from the medical profession. What happens with a compromised health card? I know, can somebody now use this to gain health care under your bill? Um, what's the magnitude that can happen with a compromised health card? I'm not familiar with this. I mean, does the version card help, or version code help? If the person only has the number without the version code, does that limit what they can do? If they have just the number and if they have the code as well, I don't know. They don't specify if the version codes are taken too. I'm assuming it's everything, the number with the version code, which tells me that they have full access. But does this allow somebody to take advantage of your health, provincial health card healthcare, your OHIP stuff? Do you have a reason to be concerned? If somebody from the healthcare profession can chime in on this, that'd be great. I'd like to have some discussion here to understand um, just how much this causes, or how much impact this causes to somebody. Again, name and phone number, kind of have an idea, but with a compromised health card, that's where I'm curious and I'm a little bit lost on. So if anybody has any insight on what that could create for somebody, um, please chime in. I'd really like to know. I'm curious to know what happens, because I would imagine people are going to be asked to change their health card number, but between the time of not having been told to now, there's some time there. So the question is, what happens and how does that work? So uh, yeah, definitely some insight, please, from the medical profession on a compromised health card and what does that do. Other than that, everyone, be mindful. If you get, again, so the health card part, we'll create some discussion. I'm hoping on this, see what happens. But as far as the names and numbers, my thought, as I said, it's just a nuisance thing. You're going to maybe get some text messages from friends and family saying, "Hey, I need some Amazon gift cards," or "Click here because your Netflix subscription's been canceled." And you might be more weary, or more. You might not be as weary and more keen on clicking. Be mindful. Don't be so quick to click. Um, and at the same time, you might get some familiar friends and family calling you for air duct cleaning services. That's, I think, the extent of what would happen with the names and numbers. Uh, But yeah, it's interesting to see how this worked. I'm not going to get into any other debates. I'm just talking strictly on the you know technical side here and the cybersecurity, the ramifications of this breach, because this breach was, it's still a cybersecurity breach. It's internal. The human aspect is part of cybersecurity. If we don't have the right checks and balances on the human side, we're just as susceptible to breaches as we are if we um, don't have our hardware programmed, and somebody just sees a hole and attacks from outside. Internal breaches are just as common and is just as much of a concern. So this is an example to, no matter how big or small your business is, no matter what industry, no matter what, don't think it can't happen to you. It can, because here we are. The government always thinks that they have the best intentions, and they had internal people take this and run with it as well. So um, cybersecurity isn't something to be taken lightly, and uh, it's only going to get worse. It's only getting worse over the last 2 years. Over the next 3 years, it's only going to get worse. 2023 is not going to be any different than 2022, 2021, or even 2020. It's only going to get worse. More attempts. Um, there's no rhyme or reason, and there is no prejudice to business size, business industry, or anything like that, or your location. So keep in mind, make sure you have some proper things in place, and proper layers. It's a layered approach. It's not just one thing or the other. It's a layered approach to keep yourself minimized on the possible threat and risk, and at the same time to have it in the event of it, you can mitigate the losses, mitigate the downtime, mitigate the impact by having all the necessary layers in place. So uh, but something to keep in mind, some discussion, and please, like I said, anybody from the medical profession who can shed some light on what happens with a compromised health card, I'd really be curious to know how and what can be done with that. So again, anybody has any questions about cybersecurity or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. Be more than happy to have discussions, and give some more information, stats if you're interested in them, or just that general conversation on how bad it's gotten and the improvements that have come on the other side to help mitigate. So, thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.